Hello everyone, Professor Thicc here. Today I'm going to cover some of the announcements that excited me coming out of Nintendo's Direct at E3 2019. Of course, I'm not going to be able to touch on everything that was discussed, so I've put a link to the full Direct down in the description below for your viewing pleasure. I do think it's necessary viewing for any Nintendo fan. The Directs are always something that's fun to watch. Companies always say that they care about gamers first, but, Nintendo remains one of the only companies that I get a genuine vibe from. They always seem so excited and sincere about the games they make. So go and check it out for yourself, but without further ado, let's look at some of the news Nintendo had for us. First, I absolutely have to make a quick note about how they kicked off E3. As you probably know, Reggie Fils-Aimé is no longer with Nintendo of America. He retired back in April this year. His replacement is Doug Bowser, such an appropriate name for a Nintendo exec. And they took advantage of the apt name. Yoshiaki Koizumi takes center frame and introduces us to Bowser, but the wrong Bowser takes stage. The reptilian Thicc boy himself takes stage, and then Doug Bowser steps in. The pair let King Bowser know that he is not the right Bowser for the announcement, and the king awkwardly exits the scene left and then right. I thought that the exchange was cute and funny, and it just furthers that genuine love of their work that I get from Nintendo. I hope we get to see more of the Thicc boy in future directs. It was a great way to kick things off. Doug had some big shoes to fill when Reggie left, and I think he's been doing a lovely job so far. On to the games. We got to see some Luigi's Mansion 3 footage. The trailer shows Luigi with his Mushroom Kingdom friends in tow as they go for a visit to a hotel. As you can imagine, there's something spooky going on. Luigi has an upgraded ghost vacuum, the Poltergust G00, which has some new abilities. You can slam suction ghosts, use the suction shot, or the burst ability if you get swarmed by a gaggle of ghosts. Professor Egad also has a new creation, Gooigi, who is a gelatinous version of Luigi with some different abilities. His amorphous figure allows him to slip through metal gates and walk over spikes, but be careful if you're by the pool, because he is one character who won't be interested in taking a dip. The addition of Gooigi allows you to play 2-player couch co-op. They also announced the Scare Scraper mode in which 8 people can play together. I think that the addition of co-op is great. Since the announcement, I've told some of my friends who aren't really big gamers that I'd love to play this with them. And the response is, I'm not really good at games. But here's the thing. I'm seeing the addition of Gooigi as more of a puzzle-solving element. And when non-gamers think of the Mario series, they think platforming, which, Mario games can be difficult if you don't have any experience with platformers. But I have suspicions that this will be a little more friendly to new gamers, as the bulk of what you'd be doing is puzzle solving and then occasional ghost dispatching. So I'll do my best to get them up to speed. I think this one is going to be a fun game to share with people. The Scare Scraper mode also looks intriguing. The goal is to defeat all of the ghosts before time runs out. I think there was a similar mode on the first Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS, if I'm remembering correctly. In the trailer, they said it would support local and online play. What isn't clear to me is, does this mean you could play 8 players locally as well? If so, that would be nutty and great gaming party material if that is the case. I absolutely love the Luigi's Mansion series. It was one of my favorite titles on the GameCube, and I'm excited at the prospect of getting to play another full-fledged console game with the lesser appreciated of the Mario Brothers. Look for this to be available sometime in 2019. Next on the docket, we have The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. This is based on the Link's Awakening title originally on the Game Boy. Something that has the community buzzing about this one is the art direction. It seems really divisive. You either love it or hate it. I am in the former. I think the visuals look spectacular. Nintendo has always excelled at cutesy, colorful art, and I see this as them knowing what they've got and flaunting it. It's cute. Is there really any other way to describe it? And although I've sworn off buying more amiibos, I think I might have to pony up for the Link amiibo. I just don't think I'll be able to restrain myself. It'll make a nice addition to the laboratory. It does stay true to the original in that it is a top-down view, but they've got something new for us as well. There is a dungeon building mode of sorts. It isn't as freeform as, say, Mario Maker, but it looks like you are somehow granted dungeon blocks, and you can put these together to make a dungeon that you explore. I don't know much else about that feature, so keep an ear out for more information on that. Link's Awakening was one of the first Game Boy games I fell in love with, so I'll definitely be playing this one. But one thing that wasn't mentioned in the Direct that I'm seeing online is that this will be a full price game, $59.99 USD. I don't think it should be that much. I see this more as a $40 game, I guess. And this is just going off of my experience playing the original on Game Boy. But I know there will be some additional content, so who knows? Maybe it will be worth the full price tag. I'm still going to get it either way, so. Moving forward, we had some Resident Evil announcements. Resident Evil 0, and Resident Evil 4 are available now, and 5 and 6 will be available in fall 2019. I enjoyed the Resident Evil series, but I have to be honest, I didn't play them in depth when they first came out, and I think I attribute that to the fact that when I was a youngin', when the earlier games originally released, they genuinely spooked me, and that kept me from getting into them, at least at that age. But I do have an interest in giving them a try again. I'm really into horror movies now, so maybe this time around I'll do that. Then we received some additional information on Pokemon Sword and Shield. We were told that it will be a while before their release, so no new information there, but it was announced that you will be able to use the Pokeball controller for some functions in the game. You can use it to take one of your Pokemon out for a stroll, and supposedly something good might happen if you do that. I think the Pokeball controller is neat, but I really think they should have figured out a way to make it fully usable in the game, should you so choose to. But I suppose it's not too late for them to figure it out. I didn't play either of the Let's Go Pokemon games, and that's largely because I was informed that it's a mix of Pokemon Go and the standard Pokemon fare, and that just isn't something I was interested in. But Sword and Shield looks to be right up my alley. Something else I noticed, the camera angle doesn't seem to be as top-down anymore. It looks like it's closer behind your trainer in a more traditional third-person view. I don't know if this is true to what the gameplay is going to be, but if it is, that's something I've always wanted from a Pokemon game, so I'll be checking this one out as well. Then a quick snippet on something that got my attention, Empire of Sin. The video didn't give us many details, but my interpretation is that it's a top-down shooter with a 1920s gangster theme. And with a little more research, I found out it's similar to play as XCOM. If that's the case, and it's a turn-based strategy, it's something I'll want to look into. And that 1920s gangster aesthetic has always been something that's interested me, so I think it might be worth a look. And then, the moment we were all waiting for, or I was waiting for anyway, news on the new Animal Crossing game, New Horizons. Some of the notable changes to the game: you'll be on a deserted island, you'll be able to craft certain items at Tom Nook's workbench, and you can now place items outside. I was definitely getting a family vacation at a national park vibe from it. Another neat thing I heard, which wasn't directly addressed in the Direct, was that for the first time, you'll be able to change the skin tone of your characters and be able to place any hairstyle or facial hair on either gender. I think that this is really cool. Speaking from my experience, most protagonists have always looked something like me. Well, not this, obviously, but I think you know what I'm getting at. I've always had the luxury of being able to identify with the lead character. So adding options like this so that more people can identify with the character you play as, I think it's a great move by Nintendo. Nice work. The sad news we heard about this is that it has been delayed a bit, and you can expect to see it in March 20th of 2020. I'm not too disappointed by this, and I'll let you know why in an upcoming video. Then perhaps the announcement that got the most airtime because of the insane reactions to it, your favorite Bear and Bird duo is coming to Smash Bros. That's right, Banjo-Kazooie will be a playable character in fall of 2019. I don't own the newest Smash Bros., and in all honesty, that's because I just don't play many fighting games. I'm just not very good at them. But seeing everyone's reaction to this made me really happy. Twitter was flooded with people going crazy over this announcement. You should really look up some of those reactions. And their happiness was infectious. I think that's something we need to do more of in the gaming community, be happy for other people. And this is certainly the case here. I'm happy for all of the Smash community. You go, guys and gals, congrats on this one. And the last item I wanted to touch upon is the announcement of the Breath of the Wild sequel. We weren't given much information other than that it is happening. And please don't throw tomatoes or other items of food that we think of as vegetables but are really fruit. But I haven't played Breath of the Wild yet. I know, I need to get around to it. That whole weapon degradation thing has me scared though. But I will play it. Someday. Maybe. So that was Nintendo's E3 for 2019 in a nutshell, at least some of the items that stuck out to me. Again, I did put a link in the description so you can get the info straight from the horse's mouth and catch the items that I didn't cover. But this is the point in the video that I want to hear from you. Were you happy with what Nintendo had to announce? What got you excited? Was there anything omitted that you wanted to hear about? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, keep the conversations civil. Folks, that's going to do it for me. But until next time, I remind you to stay cynical. Bye now.